Netflix called The Circle. I don't know if anyone has heard of this show.
I've definitely heard of the show, but the problem is I keep
Sounds
picturing
familiar.
that stupid Tom Hanks Emma Watson movie, and I know there's a show with the same name, and I can't remember what the actual premise of the show is anymore.
What's the Tom Hanks Emma Watson movie called The Circle?
I think
That sounds kind of familiar.
Tom Hanks is like a Mark Zuckerberg-esque character, and like he owns some sort of social network, and I believe Emma Watson works there. And then
Is it the social network?
It is not the social network starring what's his face playing two people.
Lex Luthor and Andrew Garfield.
The cannibal.
In the cannibal, yeah.
Times two.
Yeah.
Wait, in that movie, he just plays both twins?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's a Lindsay Lohan thing.
I didn't know that. I just assumed they like cast two similar looking people.
Nope.
No, they cloned them for the movie.
I mean, that's possible too.
They did the Prestige.
We don't know which one's dead.
Listen, to be fair, the other actor that looks like Hugh Jackman, I don't know what that guy looks like normally, but he looks kind of like Hugh Jackman in that movie.
It's just Hugh Jackman. Oh
wait, it is?
Yes.
Oh
wait.
I didn't know that. I just assumed it was a fucking actor.
No, that's not real life.
Yeah, it's not. I'm totally joking. Nailed it. I legitimately thought it was just...
Yikes.
What did they do to him? It has to be CGI, I'm assuming, to make him look different enough.
Make him look like Hugh Jackman?
No, to like make him look not... Because he's a little bit... I feel like he's like a thinner face and like certain features like that.
Smaller chin or something. I recall, but I mean, I believe that was just either CGI or prosthetics. It's Christopher Nolan, so he probably did something practical.
Interesting. Yeah, I had no idea. I just went with it and assumed that it was different guy.
We should have Brenden watch movies and just like literally get him to write down all of his takes, because there is like some bonkers shit coming out of his mouth.
So initially, when I watched Hereditary for this, I had like notes out and I was like taking notes as the movie went along, and then I was like, fuck this movie, I don't like my thoughts are summed up, I'm good. So I never really went back to taking notes. I mean, I could start doing that again. It would be really fucking bad.
I would have loved to read the note where it says, wow, this guy looks a lot like Hugh Jackman.
Listen, if we want to, like, I'm assuming we can't stream movies on Twitch. I'm assuming that goes against some sort of...
It goes against...
But you could do a like a watch along probably.
And just not save the VOD? Is that what the deal was, Mike? Like, could we stream it and just not save it?
Oh, like, so do you want to... So here's my question.
Like, we throw our four cameras up on the side, we put the movie on the fucking stream, and we watch the movie together, and, you know, not Mystery Science Theater it, because I'm not that clever, but...
Well, why don't we just do a stream of the four of us, and then you just say, all right, we're going to hit play right now, and then you can, like, watch along.
Yeah, we could do that, too.
Because then we avoid any sort of legal thing.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. We could also...
You could, in theory, you could also, like, you could play the movie, share it on Discord to us, record all of that, and then, I mean, it would be a lot of work because it's like a long movie. If you want to, like, edit it down into a video that you could share of, like the bits and pieces of our reactions to the movie.
Yeah.
That one would be a lot more work, but I think Dom's idea might make the most...
I feel like it's probably the easiest and the easiest way to get out of legal problems.
I mean, the other thing we could do too is kind of what Mike just said, is we could just, for future PTC movie clubs, I mean, obviously the hardest part is getting the four of us on the same time to do it. So maybe, you know, we just kind of do it whenever whoever can do it. But we could just privately stream it in the Discord for anyone in our Discord who wants to watch it with us. And then also record our audio over it, so that way we can upload that as something else after. That's actually not a bad idea. I might do that for the Big Sick if anyone else to join me. I don't know. I'm not gonna.
Is there a watch along feature on Amazon? Like Netflix has like party viewing and Disney has party viewing, but I don't know if
Amazon does. So it would really be a case of like him playing it on his computer and then sharing.
I was just thinking. I was trying to like brainstorm other like
options.
viewing ideas. Yeah.
This is not a bad idea though. I'm gonna play around with this idea. Maybe we'll change some things up going forward. Maybe I won't do it for the Big Sick I can still do it, but I've seen the Big Sick so many times, and I feel like I'm not gonna have outlandish takes for that movie.
I feel like for my movie, everyone's gonna have some pretty good laughs.
Did he pick Gummo? Is that what's going on here?
And I
I was
don't
picturing that in
think.
my head. So I was picturing the kid in the tub as he was saying that.
No, I'm trying to decide. I can't remember if Mike has said he's seen it.
I forget what. I remember a theme, or I remember an idea that you had. So I don't know if you're sticking with that idea, and if you are, I don't know what movie.
Yeah, well, we'll discuss.
You want to tease it a little bit? You want to tease it out? You want to drop some hints? Maybe maybe some keen listeners can get a head
no,
start.
we got what? Next week will be the Big Sick.
2 weeks. Yeah.
No, we got 2 more weeks now.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks, yeah. No, next week would be the last Friday, right?
I have to look at a calendar.
I think it was a Friday.
Unless we record on the 30th, which is the final Friday of the month.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We could do it either way. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. We could do it either way. It's not like we need to stick to it like a super stringent schedule. As long as it's if it's the first of the month or the last day of the month, it's not a big deal.
Wait, what was the last pick? Why am I blanking?
First of the month.
It was whoever picked Prestige, Mike.
Okay, yes, that's what it was.
It was Prestige.
I couldn't remember who picked it.
And then I forget what you picked last, Todd. For February.
Swingers, he's money,
Swingers,
baby.
that's right.
Swingers.
Oh, we were gonna say that more. What else were we gonna say? Was that it? You're so money.
You're so money and
No, we're gonna
Mikey's
the big winner.
Yeah,
Mikey's the big winner.
Yeah, fuck, we got to do that more often. The next time we play Fortnite too, we got to make sure no matter what happens, just keep screaming Mikey's the big winner. What was the initial thing we were talking about? Oh, the circle. So I started watching the show because I play some late night Valorant on some nights with Jesse and a few other people that we are all mutuals with, and him and a few other people kept talking about the circle because the season 2 just started, and I was like, maybe I'll just like throw this on one night and see where it goes, like see what's up with it, because it's a reality show, like it's a game show kind of thing, but I'm not like, besides Big Brother, I'm not trying to fucking watch a bunch of reality shows. I don't know if I like Big Brother, like I'm fine with saying like I love that show. I think it's not perfect, but it does a lot of really interesting things, and it's a fun competitive game to watch. This one's a little bit different because the people on the show, they're all just in their own apartment in this building, and all of the gameplay and stuff takes place through the circle, which is like a made up social media thing. So it's like 8 people, and they can choose to be themselves, or they can choose to basically be a catfish. So you can be yourself, like you have a bio, you have a profile picture, or you can be literally anybody. Like one person in the first season, which I might reach out to him and see if he wants to come on the podcast because he's from Boston. He played as his girlfriend and made it to the fucking finals. It was like interesting to see him like kind of maneuver things that way, because it's like you're on this thing and you can choose to message other people, but like you don't know if anyone's even real. Like you have no idea who's real, who's fake. And because you can't like see each other in person and like have it's hard. You're connecting everything through messaging. So it's like the same thing with like texting each other in real life. Like sometimes like the nuance doesn't really like catch to what you're saying. Like maybe you're like being facetious or like making a joke or something, and like that doesn't translate through text, stuff like that. But it's interesting. I enjoyed it. We watched the first season this week, and I'm intrigued to start the second season to see if it's a show that keeps my attention. I hope that, because it has a lot of really good ideas, I hope that the second season, because I think the second season changes some stuff. I think, so I hope they kind of go deeper on stuff that works and then kind of drop some of the stuff that was kind of whatever. But
I haven't watched any reality TV in so long, like even like a game show or anything.
Yeah.
And I grew up with fucking reality TV. It was like just like everywhere. That's like all we watched back in the day, like with Real World and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just have zero interest in it now. I can't even watch anything on it.
Jen and I were kind of dissecting Big Brother the other night after we were watching The Circle, and like Big Brother, I think, is a really good show. But the reason we were kind of dissecting it is that I feel like The Circle is very well produced. Like it's very, very, it looks very modern. Like it's not that cheesy. Like I feel like a lot of those types of shows are kind of cheesy sometimes. And Big Brother, that's like one of the problems with Big Brother is that it can be cheesy, like the way that it's edited and like the sound effects they use and stuff like that. Whereas if it was a little bit more modernized and like cleaner, like something like The Circle, I feel like it would be easier for me to be like, listen, just watch the first couple episodes of the season of Big Brother, and like I think you'll like it, because like you kind of have to put your mindset of this is a 20-year-old show on fucking CBS. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I was just gonna say, isn't Big Brother like 30, 40 years old at this point?
It's pretty fucking old. It's actually got to be older than 20 years because I think the last season was 22 or 23. So it's
Big
old.
Brother started in the UK, right?
It might have started in the UK, which is funny if that's true because The Circle, I believe, also is a UK show.
It is from the UK. Yeah, it is.
But it was enjoyable. Like I don't know, I think it's only like 10 or 11 episodes, so I mean it's on Netflix if you want to see what it's about. It's an interesting concept. But yeah, I don't know.
I started watching Fleabag.
That show's fucking amazing.
It's so good. I've only watched like 2 episodes, but I'm like, oh man, how did I not know to watch this show?
I'm like jealous that it's such a quick show and it's over.
I might
like
wait for Amanda now. Like I'm kind of annoyed.
I think Amanda will like it. I rewatch it.
It's like I did with what's it called, the Karate Kid show. I
Yeah.
watched like the first 2 seasons and then rewatched them with her.
No, Fleabag, that show is like up there. That's a good show. The only thing that sucks about that show is that it's only like 2 or 3 seasons and it's over.
I think it's only 2. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the creator of the show is like not making more.
She's in the new Indiana Jones. She's gonna be.
I'm pretty sure she's also the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Donald Glover.
Oh really? I didn't know they were making another
Phoebe Waller-Bridge, or is that a musician?
No, that's right.
Okay.
Big Brother is also a Dutch show. I just looked it up. 1997 Dutch.
They have a shit ton of they have like Big Brother for like a lot of countries. There are a lot of Big Brother.
Do you know that like real world road rules challenges and shit like that still goes on? Dude, I was watching that shit in like 98, 97. I don't even know how people know who these people are at this point. Do they just know them through those challenge shows?
And they keep doing All Stars. Like,
dude, it's fucking insane. That used to just be specifically real world people and road rules people who would come to that show. Now it's still going on. I'm like, I don't know who watches MTV at this point. I don't even know how. Like, I put on MTV for a second because I'm like, oh shit, let's see what's going on MTV. I haven't looked at in like years. And I was like, you got to be fucking... It was like CJ, some dude, like some dude from Boston. I was like, this guy's still doing this shit? He's like 40 plus, He's definitely older than me.
Jen loves, like, Jen, you like Real World or Road Rules?
I used to love both, but I stopped watching it. Does Real World still exist?
Yeah, I believe so.
I feel like you never hear about that.
I can't hear you. Text me what you
Well,
said.
they have... Don't they have... MTV has a streaming... something now, right?
I'm assuming part of Paramount Plus, if they're anything.
They should be part of Paramount Plus, yeah.
Then I think there was a new season for Paramount Plus.
Interesting. Jen loves the old seasons of that show because she like was watching that shit too. I told her to text me. I don't know. The first few seasons of Road Rules are really good, but I will say, like, I can see why like the All-Star seasons of those shows would do well because like when they do All-Star seasons of Big Brother, they're usually really fucking good because it's like they bring back they might have some new people, but then they'll bring back like some of the best players, and it's like,
yeah, but there's no way these people know. Like, we're talking about people like 25 years ago. Like, there's no way.
It's the same thing with Big Brother. I don't know if it was last season or 2 seasons ago. They did an All-Star season, or they might have did like a hybrid season where it had some All-Star players and then some new players, and it's like some of the All-Star players were real old, or like some of them were not even like players you would even like think of if you thought of like, oh, who are the best Big Brother players? Like some of these people were not those players. Jen said I might watch the newest challenge because it's all old people. So
this is about the time in our reality TV conversation that I bring up the episode of Doctor Who where it was all reality TV.
God damn it.
I mean, I'm gonna bring it up every time we bring up reality TV. It was a good episode.
Nothing wrong with that.
It was a good episode.
Yeah, spoilers.
That's actually a Doctor Who quote.
Spoilers.
Jen said the newer challenge seasons are legit half Big Brother people. It's news to me. I drove into Boston today, and it was very, very bizarre to be in Boston after this long. It was very, very odd. Anyways, welcome everyone to the Pass Controller Podcast, a show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we talk about Big Brother and reality TV too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Saturday evening is the anime senpai himself, Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Yeah.
All right. Also joining us is the Monster Hunter Herald, Todd Gary. Todd, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing about as well as Mike, I'd say.
Okay, all right, I'm feeling that. And rounding us out on this lovely Saturday evening is the Disney Daddy, bringing it back, Dom 40. Dom, how are you doing tonight?
Remember The Weakest Link?
I never watched it, but I do.
Vaguely,
Goodbye.
but I can't.
Isn't that still on TV?
I
I came back, I think, with
Isn't Jane Lynch?
Jane Lynch, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People people love Jane Lynch, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, those game shows. I mean, it was up there with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire when that was.
I mean, yeah, I feel like Who Wants to Be a
Survivor.
Millionaire was kind of, yeah, as a Survivor, I think broke through the zeitgeist. I think Who Wants to Be a Millionaire broke through the zeitgeist. I hesitate to say Family Feud. I feel like Steve Harvey is like very memeable from that show.
Family
Yeah,
Feud
it was
in the same-
always a big deal, but he made it huge.
I would say Family Feud is in like the same category as
Price is
Death
Right.
and Wheel and Fortune and Price is
Okay,
Right. Where like
yeah.
they're just long running game
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
I think they're
Jeopardy.
too long running to lose their legs at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, like, whenever Steve Harvey decides to step away from that show, like, who is going to take that show over?
I don't
Well, think
know,
about who's been in that
some
show.
old
It's
comedian.
No, that show has been.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. There we go.
No,
Bring it
no.
back to Home Improvement.
the Tim from the Home Improvement though, the other guy, Al.
The other guy.
Richard Karn. Richard Karn.
Yeah, it was what's the guy from
Louis Anderson.
Yeah, Louis Anderson.
Yep. We can go Family Feud host all day if you want, but
Hold on.
I'm trying to think of other people though.
I feel like Dom will appreciate this through line here. Sapphire Jade in the chat said Ann Robinson, OG host of The Weakest Link, also parodied in Doctor Who.
correct. As a Dalek, I believe.
Fucking Doctor Who.
It was a good episode. I don't know what to tell you.
How like is all of Doctor Who good and or mandatory, or is it just
That's
like
what I was
a
gonna
string of
ask.
seasons? Because I would be willing to check it out.
Same, but like,
I'm-
I want to avoid the cheesy shit. Like, and like, I don't want to like. Watch
I mean,
it
it's
because I'm
British.
bad at it. No, I know, but like, I feel like there was some shit in it that like,
I
at one
don't know.
point, yeah, I don't know. It's,
I would say, I mean, the older, like the old stuff, I like started watching some of like the original Doctor Who seasons, and I mean, never mind the fact that the first season is like very like they're literally missing entire like arcs of stories and episodes, and like it just doesn't exist anymore. But if you were to put on Christopher Eccleston's episodes and just let it go and like go through Tennant and Smith and like I'm sure all three of you will have like stuff that you enjoy
so
that
those
like
are the
carry you
ones
through.
Those are the ones I want to watch. Though,
Yeah.
those two doctors that you said. Those are the episodes that I'm most curious. Like the Picasso episode that people always talk about.
I honestly say start with Eccleston. Like I really enjoyed him.
In the cemetery or whatever, like shit like that. I want to see all that stuff.
I am surprised that at this point Mike hasn't watched it.
He's doing it
Yeah,
out of
I
spite.
figured he did.
I'm doing it out of spite.
It's out of spite, yeah.
I've been upfront about that for a long time. I'm
Mike.
sure I would like the show. I'm just not watching it out
Yes,
of spite.
me and Mike have talked about how he would
Like
absolutely
a thing,
love
like a
the show.
thing against Dom, or what?
Oh no! This is literally because every single time we would get like a Doctor Who question wrong at Flying Saucer,
Yeah,
I
that's
just
all
got
think
mad.
about
I was like,
is
I'm never
Doctor Who.
watching this show.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we took opposite paths. I was like, all right, I'm gonna dive all in on this, and Mike was like, I'm staying as far away from this as I can.
Yeah, I forget what I did for Flying Saucer, but it wasn't that.
Damn,
Uh,
I miss.
It wasn't Bond, right?
No, Brendan was supposed to be Bond.
Yes, it was
Oh, yeah,
me.
Mike- that's
Do you know how many fucking? Do you know how many
Brendan bought a bunch of
Blu-rays?
Bond
I
movies.
bought so
Yeah.
many Blu-rays of 007 movies, and I still haven't watched them. Fuck, maybe I'll just pick a 007 movie for my next movie just to force myself to watch one. I own it. I'm pretty sure I own. I'm pretty sure I bought Casino Royale.
That movie again, so.
What's another
Yeah,
one
we'll
of
start with that.
Daniel Craig ones?
Casino
Skyfall.
Royale, Maximum Solace,
Solace,
Solace.
Skyfall.
I think I bought Solace and Casino, and then I think I also bought 2. I don't know which Bond, but older Bond movies. Because they were all one Black Friday. They were all on sale for like every Bond movie was on sale for like $5,
Dalton.
and I was
No,
like,
wait.
I don't know.
George Lazenby.
I'll buy a couple of these and we'll throw them in the mix. And I just never.
By the time I stopped buying DVDs, I had so many unopened DVDs that it just got to the point that it was just like, what am I doing? And I bought DVDs from the age
Let's see.
of like from the age of 16 to like 28, maybe 29.
Most of my Blu-rays are not in the office back here. Most of my Blu-rays are out in the living room on the shelves out there. Just looking at the very small amount that are on the shelves in here, I can see sealed. X-Men Days of Future Past sealed. I can see Goldfinger, James Bond sealed.
There it is. There's one of them.
Skyfall's there too. I bought Skyfall. That's sealed.
Absolutely hate Goldfinger.
What else is down there? The 3 Hobbit movies, all sealed because I have never watched them.
The 3 which
Oh,
movies?
Hobbit.
Hobbit. I love Lord of the Rings, and I'm nervous to watch the Hobbit movie because I've only heard bad things.
They're not great.
Yeah, so it's like I don't want to. I don't know.
I don't know if they're.
I mean, they have their
From
pluses, but
I-
there
I've-
are a lot of minuses.
I feel like from what I've heard about those movies is it should have just been one movie, and
It
that's
should
the
have just
problem.
been one
Yes.
movie because
Yes.
it's based off of what this
Or-
Silmarillion. I forget the name of the actual book.
Is it not based off of the Hobbit?
The Hobbit.
The Hobbit? Okay.
Yeah,
I-
the
it must-
Silmarillion is a different book.
I think they must have taken some aspects of it, but it was like based off
Yeah.
The Hobbit, and they should have just made that one movie, but they expanded.
Or
it.
2 movies.
Isn't
Or 2 movies.
Isn't the
They
Silmar-
should not have made it 3 movies
Yeah.
or 4 movies or whatever the fuck
Yeah, I
they
think
did
it
with
was
it.
3, and I don't know if it's bad because I think if you ignore the fact that it was lengthened, artificially lengthened, like I don't
Yep.
know if they're good movies by themselves. I think the problem lies in maybe just by virtue of doing what they did to make things
Yeah.
artificially longer. It just
I mean, they definitely had their pluses. Like there were good things in those movies,
Yeah.
but like
I'll
you
watch
said,
them at
like
some
yeah,
point.
it was.
I don't know. In the last within the last 6 months at some point, because whenever I did, I feel like we probably talked about it on the podcast shortly after, but I rewatched Lord of the Rings within the last 6 months, and I watched the
extended cut,
the
like,
biggest cuts, like whatever the biggest cuts that exist are,
Yeah.
and I don't give a fuck how long those movies are. I still loved every fucking second of it. But I will say, I feel like I used to say that either Two Towers or Return of the King were my favorite movies, but I feel like rewatching them now as a much older person, I feel like Fellowship is by far the best Lord of the Rings
No, let's
movie.
go. That's my favorite one, hands down. It's always been my
2
favorite.
Towers is so long.
Fellowship just has a very good complete story. Like the other movies have really good scenes and a lot of good stuff in them, but I feel like Fellowship is just a really good movie by itself. Like even if you only watch that movie, I feel like it's just a really good movie by itself.
So I had to read Fellowship in high school, I think, for like one of the summer reading courses.
I can't
they
believe
had.
that like no Tolkien books were ever required reading for me ever.
Dude, I remember seeing Fellowship in the theater, and I'm like, wow, this is exactly how I pictured it when I was reading that book, and I was just like amazed the whole time. And like I still remembered scenes that I like pictured in the book, and it was like coming to life. And I wasn't like a diehard fan of it either, but it definitely made me appreciate the movie like way more.
Yeah,
I like the scene with the well when he knocks over the bones in the well. That scene like is all I remember from. It's such a crazy scene in the book, and that whole scene's great.
Yeah, I can't I can't even tell you how many times I fucking ran through those VHSs when those movies first came out. I think they were all double D VHSs too.
We're getting 4K remasters this year.
I know, and I have a really nice box set already of the trilogy, and I'm like, do I really want to fucking buy this again?
Isn't it going to be streaming on something though? At this point, like I feel
Probably
like
will be. I think it's on HBO currently. I don't know if they're going to add the new version.
Is
but
Amazon the one getting the show?
Amazon's the one getting this show, but I think WB is who put out the film.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the movies right now at least are on HBO Max.
Most expensive show of all time.
Yeah,
This new Lord of the
they're
Rings show?
They're more expensive than
Game of
more
Thrones
than Game of Thrones episodes.
was like what 100 million for Game of Thrones, and it's like 465 million for Lord of the Rings. It's like huge jump.
Interesting. I don't want to go down this like big Game of Thrones rabbit hole right now, but I do want to quickly bring up to, I guess, the two of you, not Mike and I, are kind of sidelined on this one, but it was trending on Twitter that like HBO or Game of Thrones, some official account tweeted something about Game of Thrones, and the fan base got trending remake the last episode.
I saw.
Would that
No, I
change
think
the show
last
for you?
season.
Like, would that
I
change the
think
show
last
for you, Todd?
season. I mean, not the last. I think the last season was kind of all over the place. There's something that happened in the last season that bothers a lot of people. Something that was built up through all the seasons, which that wasn't what I had the problem with that season. I kind of dug what they did in some ways. I just think overall the season, like the last 2 episodes, are kind of just like, all right, we're doing it this way. And there's certain things that like certain people became bigger deals than other things that I thought were going to be way bigger deals.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah. I think they wrote. I don't think they did a good job. Like they could have done more episodes. I believe I read, and they chose to do. I don't know how many episodes it was, like 8 or 10. And they could have definitely benefited from just trying to do this the right way. It felt rushed. I don't know. Coming from such a show that I never even thought twice of feeling like the show was feeling rushed or anything. And
Yeah.
yeah. There's a couple things I don't know how Dom feels about it, but
I never watched the rest of the seasons. I watched like the first 1.5
okay.
seasons.
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
now I'm in protest because he won't write the fucking books.
Well, yeah. I mean, like Battle of the Bastards is probably the best episode of TV I've ever watched in my life.
And it doesn't happen in the books.
Oh, really?
He hasn't gotten that fucking far.
Oh, he hasn't even got that far. Okay. Yeah, it was like one of the most. I've never been so enthralled during a show, during a movie, anything. I was like literally on the edge of my seat that entire episode. It's one of the most satisfactory episodes you'll ever watch. Like you just like it's. Oh man, like I could watch that episode over and over again. I get goosebumps every time, even knowing how they kind of butchered the end of the season, that last season. But yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I wasn't a huge fan of the last season.
Interesting.
And I still like. People started having problems with like season. I think like the last 2 or 3 seasons, people were bitching about it quite a bit. It's when they started going off the path of the books because they had nothing to go off of anymore. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed most of what led up to it, minus like the last season was just kind of bad.
I think that was a huge problem with that show is that at some point they didn't have the books to use as a guideline anymore.
But they were using him, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he definitely had.
Was he not a consultant on the show?
He definitely was. Like
he was. I don't know.
So
I don't
I'm
think.
sure
I think he's out. I think he's done. Like I don't think he has it in him to write the rest of the books.
Agreed.
Which is weird to me because I
he
feel
just signed another contract or something.
He just signed some new contract. Yeah.
It's funny to me because I feel like he has the potential to, but like theoretically, win the fan base over and like go crazy if he wrote. Whoa.
I don't know what that was.
I might have been Todd. I think he got up to maybe deal with the kids. It's not echoing anymore, right?
No, we're good.
I feel like if he wrote books that were like, everyone loved, he could potentially even like be like fucking George R. R. Martin's fucking madman. Like he's the whatever best fantasy
He was. He was. I don't know why he just doesn't finish them. Like
he's old too, right? Isn't he like a very old man at this point?
Yeah, he's gonna die before he finishes.
Yeah, he's not healthy either.
Yeah.
Does he have?
He's also a Jets fan, which is like.
Yeah, so good riddance.
I love how Mike laughed at it. Like that was the joke that got Mike.
I like a good sports take, even if I don't get it. I'm like I recognize the cadence of
the Jets being bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
all right. I will say so quickly to kind of because I feel like this is this will bring some meaning to Mike here. Sapphire Jade in the chat said, "I never liked Game of Thrones. I watched all of it, but the last season was so rushed. It was awful. The ending was worse than Dexter. It was worse than How I Met Your Mother."
Oh, there's something like I can't like obviously we can't talk about this, but there's something that happens in the ending that is like a huge part of it that you're just like, wait, what? Like,
so
what?
I mean, I didn't I obviously not that obviously, but you guys know that I didn't watch it, but I was interested enough where I would read reviews and I was like keeping track of people's reactions, and I heard about certain things that happened at the end, and it's at least to me, considering I wasn't paying attention until like that last season, I feel as though some of the choices that they made, while they were wild and rushed, I feel as though they would have been interesting. It was just poorly executed.
It was.
If that makes sense.
If they gave them, like I said, if they gave themselves a couple more episodes, some of these choices they made would have made more sense. But it just felt like they just were like,
Yeah.
okay, we got to get to this point right now. This is the last
the
episode.
characters had a complete about face that I think, based off of what I understand, it would have been an interesting concept. It's just that it was executed poorly within the television show.
That's
They were
unfortunate.
just raking in money, like they were just fucking. That show is. I don't know why they wouldn't just take their time with it, but
I mean, essentially what it boils down to is when you play the Game of Thrones, you either win or you die. So
That's a reference to that show.
You gotta hold the door. You gotta hold the door, or else it's gonna come slam in your face, right, Mike?
Yeah, sometimes
that
you have to fuck
also
your
never
own.
happened in the book.
Wasn't it like a big fan? Like, didn't people go nuts over hold? Is his name Hodor, and he held the door? Is that what was going on here?
His name is not. His name is. They call him Hodor because of that.
They call him Hodor because he
all the
only
time.
says
It's
Hodor. It's
Hodor.
like I'm sure there's somebody else that only says one thing and they just call him that.
Pikachu.
Anya. Yeah.
Anyways, you know it's a good episode when 30 minutes into it, I still haven't finished the intro. A couple of housekeeping things, and then we'll get into, I guess, the rest of the show. PTC Movie Club for April, which we talked about earlier, is The Big Sick. So if you haven't watched The Big Sick yet and care about our thoughts on The Big Sick, you can catch that episode at the end of April, where we also reveal, for the first time, Dom's PTC Movie Club pick for May.
You're gonna hate it.
I can't wait.
I can't wait for my next pick. Midsummer, here we come.
I mean, I don't want
already
you to
have,
do that.
I have my pick. I'm not going to do that. Trust me.
Unless it's something that anyone picks.
not-
It's like
I mean, Midsummer's
extreme,
not
like
scary.
horror,
It's not scary at
gory.
all. It's
Yeah,
really
you
not.
say that. You said
It's not
Hereditary
gory.
wasn't scary, but it's like I don't want to sit through that shit. I don't want to fucking watch any of this shit.
It's definitely disturbing.
Yeah, see, I'm not trying to sit through that type of shit. I don't know. I don't know. Mike doesn't want to sit through it either. I'm not the only one here.
Mike, Mike would sit through Midsummer.
Mike did not like Hereditary.
I did not care for Hereditary. I probably wouldn't care for Midsummer either. If it came down to it, like if I don't want to like lay out any sort of circumstances where I think I would actually sit down and watch it. I'm sure there are a few situations where I'll be like, okay, I will watch this film. But
I feel like
wouldn't
there's
be
enough
happy about it.
I feel like Midsummer caught enough like pop culture.
Absolutely.
At the time,
Like-
not now. No one references fucking Midsummer anymore.
I don't know. I feel like I still see like I don't know. I guess
Don't
just
get
like,
reference
t-shirt collabs and stuff.
In a, like prime too. It's like she's so good in that movie.
Dumb.
I'm
Is there
okay not having that information in my head.
dumb? Is there like
And
a Doctor
Who was the
Who
boyfriend?
movie?
Was it James Marsden
And what in that and
In-
what's it called?
Don't try and sell me on this.
in Midsummer?
No,
Marsden.
I mean, yes or no. It's some no-name guy. I don't think he's been in a lot.
There was definitely somebody in that movie.
Oh,
That
the kid from the movie with Jennifer Aniston and Sudeikis when she's like a stripper and
They're trying to like
yeah.
smuggle drugs.
We're the
You
Millers.
guys are getting
Yeah, well, no.
you guys are getting paid.
Dumb. Is there a Doctor Who movie of any sorts?
I mean, there is.
That's how you get Mike to watch Doctor Who. Just saying. Just throwing
I
it
mean,
out there.
that's true. The dude from The Good Place is also in it.
I haven't started watching that show yet, but
Okay.
I mean to.
And yeah, Will Poulter is the other guy's name.
Yeah, I haven't watched The Good Place. I haven't gone down that hole. Everyone seems to love that show, and I just haven't watched it yet.
I need to get through I don't know. I feel like it suffers from that sitcom thing where like it takes a while to get off the ground. Like I tried to watch the first season and it's just it's not taking off as fast as I want it to, I guess.
Yeah, that's how Schitt's Creek was for me, and I
love Schitt's Creek right out the gate. I think
as
it's
of
really
last
good.
night, I have now finished Schitt's Creek front to back. Like, I don't know, it's got to be my second most watched show at this point of all time. Like, behind The
All
Office,
time?
it has to be
Of all time.
all time, top 5. Maybe
BORE.
I don't know. I've watched a lot of Parks and Rec reruns, maybe behind Parks and Rec too, but.
There's no way. Arrested Development. The
Oh
Office,
fuck, you're right.
Parks
Arrested
and
Development.
Rec.
Okay.
There's no fucking way that it's in
I'm
the
not
top.
joking. Like I have.
I feel like I could name 5 shows that I know you've watched more.
All right, it's up there
Just
though.
named 3.
That's true. Those 3 for sure. Arrested Development would be above Parks and Rec. I've watched Arrested Development.
Gilmore Girls.
Unfortunately, that is a correct.
Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek.
No, Dawson's Creek I watched one time, but Jen is rewatching it right now. So sometimes when I go to bed, I might end up in the background having a few on while I'm playing fucking Monster Hunter or some other Switch game. Anyways,
Get the fuck out of here! You text me and you tell me fucking all about like the episode you watched, and you tell me like excitedly every single fucking time.
I can't believe that thing with Pacey and Joey just happened.
I love how Dom's throwing names out right here like he doesn't watch the show. Jen hates the Netflix version of the show because they don't have
The licenses to songs.
the license to the opening song,
really?
so it's a different song.
Oh wow, that's
But
actually bold.
But I think it's also like that on the DVDs too, because she has the DVDs.
Dwayne, like,
Yeah, I didn't remember Dwayne.
you don't remember Dwayne? Whatever.
Yeah, like I have very few memories from Full House. One of them being, I'm pretty sure one of the kids accidentally backed the car through the driveway into the house, which was wild. Like,
I don't remember that.
That would be life ruining for me. Like, no matter who did it.
I
Like, I'd be
watched
like, my life is over.
I watched the Assembled today of WandaVision. It's pretty good. I think I'd recommend it. It's a good little watch. It's like an hour.
I still haven't watched that.
It's not bad. They don't like. There's not really anything like revelatory. Like I don't think you find anything out that you could apply to the MCU. But
It's like
there's
interesting to see how they do.
yeah,
they put
exactly. There's a lot of interesting things. It's actually funny to see some of the stuff that I just assumed was CGI is not. Like it's practical effects and like wire tricks and stuff. Like some of the sitcom stuff. I was like, oh, it's like fun to see that was like people pulling strings and shit and not CGI. Anyways. Watch The Big Sick. We'll talk about it last week of April. A few other housekeeping things. There was a bonus episode this week where I sat down with a few guests to talk about a bunch of other video game news that we missed that I wanted to catch before it got too far removed from that point. And I will also be a guest on 2 other shows coming out soon. One from SideQuest and one from Borderline Entertainment. So stay locked to my social media at BGroom and I will share those out when they become available. Anyways, moving on. Has anyone been playing? I mean, if you haven't been playing anything, we don't need to harp on stuff, but has anyone playing anything new or anything they want to talk about before we move into the bigger topic?
I'm still just level grinding in Kingdom Hearts. Mike, is that a midsummer overlay?
I don't
Whatever.
know. It just
It
says
definitely
Rose
is.
Crown, but it probably is. I don't
Oh,
know.
you
you.
still on the
Good on
first
you.
game, Dom? You're still just like 100% on
I'm
the
still
first
level
game,
grinding.
basically?
Yeah. There's an achievement for hitting level 100, so.
Jesus. I would imagine if you get to level 100, the last boss fights are going to be fucking, like, literally
I mean,
no
it's
problem.
still, from what I've read, it's still,
Tricky.
like strategery, but.
I mean, if you're that leveled up, though, because I feel like
Well,
I
yeah.
don't even think I was
it's
level
easier.
50.
I think it's easier to survive, but you still have to use strategery.
Strategery. As long as you have that powered up air magic, the shield, you're good. Because I had like the lowest version of that, and I struggled to get through. So as long as you have that going, you should be flying through that shit. What about you, Mike? Anything different, or just kind of the same old stuff?
Same old shit.
Anything new downloaded into the Beat Saber catalog you got going on over there, or nothing new?
Nothing. Well, I think I did download songs, but basically the way I end up getting songs is sometimes I go to the website on my computer and I bookmark a song and I just remember to download it when
Gotcha.
I go back to my headset. But what I ended up doing recently was, long story short, I walked out of TJ Maxx with a bunch of shit I didn't actually go there for.
Did you buy that
including-
Naruto shirt that you sent me?
No, I did not. For a
Should've bought
number of reasons. But
I'm confused how TJ Maxx is going to relate to Beat Saber.
Yeah,
but
I
I'm
am
excited
too,
for
actually.
it.
Did you buy workout clothes or something?
Close. I bought
Whoa.
a bunch of workout stuff because I knew I could expense it for work. I could
Okay.
for wellness, and I bought wrist and ankle weights. So I put on wrist weights and I started playing Beat Saber.
How was that? That's actually not a bad idea at all.
That's a great idea.
It was like I got lower scores than I normally get on songs, but it's something that I might try to do more often.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to go that route to get like some more extras in, like obviously it worked for me. Don't discount Pistol Whip. Pistol Whip is a fucking workout if you play those songs in succession.
That's probably true. I haven't played Pistol Whip in a long time.
I rotate anytime I throw Beat Saber on to work out. I always also play Pistol Whip after just to get like a couple songs in, because Pistol Whip you have to move a lot and you have to duck a lot. So like especially the longer sections where you have to like keep ducking up and down, and you're like essentially doing squats. So it's like it's a lot of work. I feel like Pistol Whip doesn't get enough love just in general. So I got to throw Pistol Whip out there.
Yeah, I mean it was a cool game, and
That's great.
I do owe it to the game to probably play it more. And in a perfect world, if I was a better person or at least a little bit more diligent, I would and I do own resistance bands too. They've just been hanging. They're somewhere in this house.
That would be you would be fucking shredded, Mike, if you played Beat Saber with resistance bands on your arms consistently. You would be a fucking monster. Like you'd fuck people up. Like you'd walk into a room and someone would get knocked out. Like,
yeah, I need Dom is level grinding in Kingdom Hearts. I need to level grind in real life. What was I gonna say just now? Yeah, in a perfect world, I would do this more often. I would wear the weights on my arms when I play Beat Saber and Pistol Whip, and then put them on my legs, and I would play Ring Fit or something. I don't see that actually happening, but it's good to dream.
Mike, what if you threw the wrist weights on while you were, playing with the fucking spaghetti harmonica?
I don't like how I'm to imagine that as that's supposed to be the penis, right?
I figured if I say anything right now, it's just gonna be assumed that that's what I mean. So I'm fine with saying spaghetti harmonica.
Spaghetti harmonica. No part of that I ever want to be like equated to my genitalia. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
You don't have multiple holes?
Multiple holes in your spaghetti thin penis?
Spaghetti thin penis. Anyways, yeah, Mike, throw some arm weights on while you're walking the dog. I feel like that's a more that's actually, I don't know if this is where it originated, but they say that in Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, that one's, what do they call it in Seinfeld's? Master of your domain, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yes. That one, I think that's better than walking the dog, because walking the dog just that is actually innocuous enough that you might just be like, so you're gonna walk your dog? Like it doesn't strike me as innuendo. That just sounds like it's.
I feel like I haven't heard it in so long too that like it would probably throw me off these days.
It's actually so innocuous that it's confusing.
I guess maybe it makes more sense if you say that when you don't have a dog, because no one in that show has a dog.
Okay, that makes more
sense.
Like
if Todd was like, "Hey guys, I'll be right back. Don't start a match of Overwatch. I need to go walk my dog." But if Mike said that, like, wait, Mike has a dog now? Oh.
Anyways, I gotta boil some angel hair.
You gotta boil
some angel hair. There we go.
I don't know how to mime a harmonica.
I gotta fucking boil some elbow macaroni. You know what I'm saying? Oh, like that actually makes sense, kind of.
I guess.
I mean, okay.
In the sense that anything can be an innuendo for masturbation if you're verbing.
If you say it in the right tone.
Say it in the right tone.
Yeah, right.
Listen, you trying to chef up some elbow macaroni right now?
I gotta go shampoo my hair. What does that mean?
I mean, some people have hair down there, Mike.
All right, I'll be right back. I gotta light a fire if you catch my drift.
See, that sounds like you're gonna go take a shit, maybe. I don't know. I gotta go. I gotta go clean my ears. I hate everything right now. What are some other pastas? I don't even know. I gotta fucking go.
I gotta go bake some lasagna, guys.
I was gonna just say I gotta go bake some lasagna.
I gotta go flog my rigatoni.
Mike fucking loved that one.
You guys can't hear it. My Google Home went off and it got me a recipe
It would have been better if it pulled up like fucking Pornhub.
I really wish that your Google Home just said like, yeah, I hate Mondays too.
Oh, I gotta go. Pet Odie, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway.
Yeah, Todd. What's Todd playing?
Yeah, Todd, are you playing anything besides Monster Hunter?
Fucking I think I put 55 hours into Monster Hunter from this Saturday to the last Saturday.
Jesus, Todd's a Monster Hunter
That's
fiend.
I haven't touched anything else except for Monster Hunter, and I almost didn't even buy this game, which I can't believe.
Fuck, I'll be right back. I gotta go clean the litter box.
Guys, no, I really do.
No, really do. It stinks in here. If you know what I mean.
Dom's looking down, and I hope he's just googling pastas.
No, I was not Googling pastas. I was just cleaning my linguine.
This is the dumbest fucking episode of the show on the planet. Oh my god. I'm more of a shells guy. That's it. That's the tweet. That's it.
Pasta.
Mike, if you could add one ingredient to mac and cheese, what would it be?
I don't. After
I don't know if this is an innuendo.
I don't want to add anything to mac. Like I'm like scared to answer that question.
I'm like, how many cheese is in your ideal mac and cheese? How many different variations of cheese?
4.
Oh, okay, all right. Mike likes to mix it up. Mike likes to, an orgy of cheeses of sorts, you know?
I really wish you would stop making pasta sexual. I just made spaghetti. Like, I literally made spaghetti today, and now I don't think I can eat it.
Sure you did.
I literally made spaghetti today. Like, I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, oh, shit, I made spaghetti. I don't know how to put it back in the fridge.
Did you both literally and figuratively made spaghetti today?
Well, yes, but that's beside the point.
So there is a little bit of nuance to why, when I initially said play the spaghetti harmonica, why I chose those words, but I am not going to divulge that information.
But he got spaghetti on his dick, didn't he?
I was cooking naked and fucking spaghetti everywhere, and I happened to be listening to harmonica solos on Apple Music.
He listened to Piano Man, which had a surprising amount of harmonica in it, and he thought to himself, I can make this a thing.
The sad thing is the name of this episode is gonna be Mike learns about the spaghetti harmonica, and it's gonna end up being our most listened to episode because people are gonna be like, "What the fuck is a spaghetti harmonica?" Watch.
I already had very little faith in people to begin with. If that were to be the case, that it became it became a very popular episode because people listened to it, and actually more concerning is if people continued to listen to more episodes after it. I would completely lose faith in it.
I'll tell you right now, one of our most listened to episodes of all time is an episode that Mike and I recorded at the beach about Splatoon that has a very weird name, and that I'm almost positive the reason why it was listened to so much is because of the name of the episode.
What's the name of the episode?
I don't know. I'd have to pull it up. I mean, at this point, at the time marker we're at, like, I almost don't even want to get into other topics because
you can do another bonus episode where you talk about actual things
with real people.
I mean,
at a certain point, we're going to be the bonus episodes where we talk about fucking nonsense.
To be fair, listen, I could talk about spaghetti harmonicas for hours,
and that's a personal problem.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. I guess we'll do this. This is how we'll sunset this episode.
You're gonna say, "Let's wrap this up," and then Todd's gonna say something, and we're gonna talk for another hour.
No. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw out to the panel here, of the things that I was gonna bring up. The two main bigger chunks that we can pick one is. Actually, I already know the answer is gonna be, so I'm just gonna pick it for us. Either the Resident Evil Showcase, which I feel like we'll probably This is what I'll do. I'll run through what was shown off at the Resident Evil Showcase, and we'll talk about the actual topic. Because I'm assuming that no one besides me watched the Resident Evil Showcase anyway, because it's Resident Evil.
Yeah, I watched a bunch of
I didn't know it
highlights.
existed until you said, "Hey, is anyone watching this thing?"
'Cause I
And
think that
in my
game looks
mind, I
incredible.
said no.
I
With my hands, I said no.
And then he played the spaghetti harmonica to the tall lady.
Facts, exactly. Lady Demistre. I don't even know how to say that character's name, but the internet
Look,
loves Lady
the
Demistre
internet
Skew.
loves
That
her,
game
and like
looks,
I'm
like,
not gonna
gorgeous, too,
dig
though.
for other things. Like if it's right there in front of me, I'm like, all right, I'll work with this.
There's a demo right now you can play on PS5.
I-
and it's like timed.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid.
I will say that Capcom knew exactly what the fuck they were doing because they put out that Resident Evil thing, and the internet loves Lady I don't know how to say the last name, Demistrescu or something like that. I don't know. I sound like an idiot now. I promise I'm a professional. But the internet loves that tall vampire lady. And in that new trailer that they showed in the Resident Evil showcase, she grabs, I believe the main character's name, Todd might can back me up here, is Ethan Winters. That's the character you play as.
It's Ethan.
She
Yeah.
grabs Ethan's arm and goes, "Let's just see how special you are," and then sucks blood out of his arm. So, like, they're playing to the fan base here that is clearly very enamored by this fictional character. But they also did that on what was apparently National Horny Day or something. Did you see this going around? It was like National Horny Day.
I saw that.
Oh no, I
Yeah,
didn't see that. That's amazing.
So, anyways, they showed off a new trailer with some new footage for Resident Evil Village, which I have no interest in. The only reason why I watched the showcase
oh my God,
is
dude,
because
it's crazy because that game looks fucking phenomenal. And the last one was.
I just
so
don't care about
weird.
horror. That's the problem. Like
It's really not scary though. It's more like actiony survival kind of stuff. It just very like the game before. This seems like more like it's gonna be
no,
about werewolves.
this seems like more like
This
Resident
game
Evil
doesn't-
7. Like
No,
7
Resident Evil
seemed very
7
scary to me from what I watched.
7 was scary. Like
Yeah.
the first half of it was, but like this doesn't seem scary at all. It seems like way more like we're going really far out there with werewolves and fucking vampires, and it's just like it looks like you're gonna be gunning down a lot of people. Basically, it doesn't look like the first one. Like you're not gunning down as many people. You're literally just being chased by a family throughout this house.
Mike,
It's like it's
you did spell player right. I don't know why you said it twice, unless I'm just a fucking spaghetti harmonica player.
I didn't see that. Like I thought I typed it out, and when I hit enter, I only saw the first two words.
Ah, I gotcha.
And I couldn't see it, so I thought maybe I didn't type it.
I gotcha.
First time.
I mean, I don't know, Todd. I think it's gonna be scary. I think I think they're trying to stay within that horror vein more.
It seems like they're doing like Resident Evil 4 over again, but just in like a different kind of variation. It seems like what this game is like is very.
Maybe.
I'm getting a lot of like Resident Evil 4 vibes from this game, whereas like the Resident Evil 7 was just like, yeah, I don't get scared from games. I was playing that game like during the day, and I was like, fuck, this game's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, when you're sitting at the table and the grandmother's just like lifeless.
Yeah,
and
fuck
all
that shit.
and-
I'm all
yeah,
good.
like it's just.
I mean, it would be smart for them to try to go after the Resident Evil 4 like balance, because I feel like that's when I feel like Resident Evil 4 is
think
probably
that's what they're
arguably the
doing.
best Resident Evil game. I think if you ask the Resident Evil fan base, most of them would probably say that game. They might say older games for nostalgia plays. You know, some people might say 7 because it was a return to horror, because 5 and 6 were way more action focused. But I think 4 is probably widely considered the best Resident Evil game. I mean, it's considered one of the best games of all time. I think most places gave it a 10. I mean, I played Resident Evil 4. I mean, to be fair, I played every Resident Evil actually, I played Resident Evil 5 as well. And I played a little bit of 6. 6 was fucking terrible. I could not play more.
That's trash.
6 was so
I
bad.
only played the Leon campaign. That was the only good thing.
I couldn't get through Leon's campaign. I didn't care. 5 was fun. I liked 5 a lot because I played a lot of co-op.
If you play with someone,
Yeah,
that's
co-op
it.
was
But if
fun
you
in that
didn't play
game.
Co-op, the AI was trash.
Yeah.
If you didn't play co-op.
Like, I played a little bit of co-op with you. I played a little bit of co-op with our buddy Jeff. Like, I played that game through co-op more than once. That was a fun game. I mean, I don't know if I'd consider it like a Resident Evil game, but it was a fun co-op game. But yeah, I guess I can kind of see that. Maybe they're trying to lean a little bit out of the horror vein that 7 was, and kind of maybe get a little more balance going. But they showed more gameplay on that. They showed off that Resident Evil Mercenaries is going to make a return.
I'm so excited for that too. So that's another thing.
Yeah, so that's
Give
like
me more content.
Yeah.
I don't need more content, but I will happily take that more content.
yeah, and that's like a more arcadey approach to Resident Evil. It's like a kind of run and gun, more more
It's like a
actiony.
horde, it's kind of like a horde mode
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
So that's cool. And then I believe also if you get Resident Evil Village, you also get access to RE-Verse, which is like their multiplayer Resident Evil game, which there was a beta for it. I didn't go for it because I didn't care, but I think that's kind of widely kind of shunned by the audience right now. They're all like, why are you doing this? We don't care about this shit. But I mean, if it's free addition to Village, then I mean, you get Mercenaries, you get Ariverse. I mean, that's a lot of stuff.
I played the one. I'm sure it's just piling off of the one they did for Resident Evil 3 remake. The side multiplayer that they did with that one, and that one wasn't bad. It was actually kind of good, but those games still need like a lot of fine tuning before they release those things. They just don't feel right.
All of the multiplayer Resident Evils to me, I guess besides the co-op in 5, have never been good. Like there was a game that I played. I think it was on PS2. I think it was called Resident Evil like Operation Raccoon City or something. I don't know. There was like a traditional like tank controls Resident Evil that was like 4-player multiplayer, and it was not executed well. Like it was a good idea, it could have worked, but it just wasn't executed well. Then there was another like more action focused Resident Evil multiplayer game that me and you probably played together on 360, Todd.
I think we bought it. We did.
Yeah.
It wasn't good though.
It was not that great. No.
Yeah, I remember the guns were like wicked light and floaty.
Yeah.
And, nothing about it felt good. It could have been good though. Like it really could have been a good game.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like there could be a good multiplayer game in there.
Yeah, all their multiplayer attempts though feel like half baked. They don't feel like full thought out. Like it seems like, hey, like we'll try to get this out and line it up with the next release. And let's just all right, here we go.
Other things where there's some more information on the Resident Evil Netflix thing. And then there was the release of the couple demos. There's some demos coming to everything. I think the first demo that came out was PlayStation only, or maybe it was just PlayStation first, but this demo is going to be, I think, on everything. And there's a couple of windows of time to check that out.
I was just looking right now, so I missed the village part, so I can't even do that part because it was earlier today, which I didn't even know. But I can play the castle.
Nice.
Yeah, so at least I can try it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm buying that game regardless. So
yeah. I think they're smart to do demos with this only because like someone like you who's excited and going to buy it anyway, it doesn't really matter. But like there are probably a lot of people that are on the fence with this, and like if they check out the demo, maybe they'll be like, oh shit, like this is actually pretty cool, I want to check it out. And then they ended with which I'm surprised it kind of took this long, but a Resident Evil pack coming to Dead by Daylight, which is kind of cool. I mean, I don't play Dead by Daylight anymore, but it's cool to see Resident Evil stuff getting added to that because there's been so many crossovers already in that game between like horror movies and like other game franchises. I think even Stranger Things might have also got added in there. So there's a lot of stuff in there, so it's cool to see Resident Evil. They didn't announce like who or what from Resident Evil would be added into there, but it's going to be a whole episode, so I'm assuming there'll be like at least one, villain murderer thing or whatever they call them, bad guy, and then there'll probably be, some there'll be some typical. Did I freeze? Am I good? Am I here?
You're frozen. You're frozen on camera, but audio sounds fine.
Cool.
Someone get a picture of him so we can meme the shit out of that. Like,
all right.
Do it up,
yeah, I'm guessing you'll get a hero of like, I don't know, Jill.
Oh.
And then
there he is.
And then I'm guessing that Mr. X was the big thing from
Mr.
Yeah,
the remake, right?
My guess is Mr. X or Nemesis would make the most sense.
Yeah, maybe Nemesis because he's more like horror-y looking. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it could be like someone like Wesker, which I think would be like underwhelming compared to what they could do.
Yep.
But yeah, you'll probably get like Jill, Leon, Chris, maybe Claire.
I feel like Mr. X is his role in the game fits with the role in Dead by Daylight, where he's literally just chasing you.
Yeah, yeah. So that would be kind of cool. I mean, they could go all in, and they could throw a couple of the bad guys in there. You never know.
I don't know. I feel like most of the packs they only do one. I mean, I guess they could switch it up, but I
mean, if I'm Resident Evil, I mean, depending on how that works out, like if I'm just trying to like get more notoriety, because I feel like Dead by Daylight, I don't know what their player base is like, but it's a big enough game that it keeps getting stuff added to it, which is kind of cool for people who care about that. It's not a bad game. I just like it's too.
No, I've been playing it recently.
It's too fucking stressful for me. Like I don't need to have that shit.
The problem with that game is though, if you're not playing, it's cool if you jump back and forth between the player and the killer. But if you're the player, you're literally just turning on generators the whole time and trying to run around. So there's nothing you can really do. You can like throw something behind you to trip them up. And,
I like playing as the survivor though. Like I like playing as the people in that game, as opposed to the killer. Like I don't want to be the killer. even though the killer is the not scary part. Like I'd rather be the
right.
the survivor, just based on like what you have to accomplish. I feel like it's more strategic. Like I feel like it's a little bit more strategic and more like you gotta like try to plan out what you're doing a little bit more. Where not to say the killer part isn't strategic, but I feel like it requires more teamwork and like other aspects to get the mission accomplished. But the last thing that I wanted to touch on, because I recorded that other episode earlier in the week where we very, very briefly mentioned this topic, but we were way over time, so we didn't actually talk much about it. So I kind of wanted to just bring it up to you guys, see what you all thought.
Wait,
so
before you even go on, you skipped like the biggest thing out of that whole Resident Evil thing.
wait, what did I skip?
The fucking
The VR
VR of
thing?
Resident Evil.
Oh
4.
fuck, you're right. Holy shit, yeah, Resident Evil 4 VR. Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy. That I mean,
Nuts.
it
It's
is and it
Oculus
isn't
Quest
crazy,
exclusive.
but it's Oculus exclusive. It's being pretty much worked on from the ground up, because it's, you know, Resident Evil 4 is a third person action game. This is now going to be a first person VR game. I saw some people clowning the trailer because it didn't look visually great, but like VR, it's hard.
Looks fine.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's hard to watch like video of VR and judge it properly, because
Yeah,
like
it's
so
completely
much of that
different.
experience is built around
Yeah.
being in it. That's why I feel like VR is always in such a hard place to market, because it's like,
Just give it Quest 3. Quest 3 is going to have like updated graphics. You're going to be like, holy shit. Like, it's
but I don't
starting
even
to
think the
look like-
graphics are bad on the Quest 2,
No, I think
like
they're
at
great.
all.
No, they're great.
Yeah.
I agree, man. I mean, I can't really speak on it because I don't know what like higher end VRs run like, but I still think that it does fucking an amazing job for the price point.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
and
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, but I think it's going to get better and better because with all these exclusive deals they're doing, because they had Medal of Honor too. Wasn't Medal of Honor Quest exclusive? I
I'm
think
not sure about
Assassin's
that.
Creed's- I think Assassin's Creed is
Yeah.
probably Quest exclusive. So
I mean,
it's like,
listen,
Oh, not
Facebook
Quest, it's like
Facebook is a
Oculus.
garbage money, but I'm assuming they got plenty of money, a garbage company, but I'm assuming they got plenty of money to throw around to try to like
absolutely.
push the Oculus brand. And I mean, their footprint in the marketplace and what they're trying to do with like the budget VR system is, you know, is good for consumers. You know, removing the Facebook part of it. It's good for consumers because it's a lower end VR system that you don't need a PC.
I forget Facebook's even part of it though, because like it doesn't really like interact with my face. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get why people be mad about it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a Facebook account to have it.
What if your account got hacked? Like your Facebook account got hacked. Like,
Well, so
then what do you do?
Well,
Like,
there's a
it's
lot
like-
of problems with the Facebook angle, because like if you were to like get rid of your Facebook account, you would lose your Oculus account and you would
Yeah, you
lose all
lose
of your
everything,
games.
yeah.
And
Because I
if
have,
you
like-
made a new
I have,
Facebook
like,
account, you
games
wouldn't
every
get
week.
that shit back.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
So, like-
I buy a ton of games.
Like, you know, there's a lot of weird things tied up in there, and I get that. And some people just don't like Facebook and don't want a Facebook account, and I also get that too. But that stuff aside, I think, you know, Oculus is the cheaper entry point, you know, all intents and purposes. And you know, them going after a lot of exclusive titles. They bought Beat Saber, you know, they bought Beat Games, the company that makes Beat Saber. They keep getting all these exclusive deals for games. Is the Walking Dead game also an Oculus exclusive? The Saints and
It might
Sinners?
be.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. Is it on? It might be on PSVR. I don't know.
Yeah. But I don't even think they necessarily care too much about getting, like, they're not going to remove Beat Saber from everything else. I mean, that would be silly. But, you know, they dabble in the exclusives.
I'm amazed that Beat Saber, like the standard version,
The Star Wars games might be exclusive.
maybe, yeah. But it's weird to me that Beat Saber just doesn't expand, like they don't expand the music catalog so people can buy more, because I find that very weird.
I think it's a weird.
I feel like it's an easy moneymaker for them.
I agree with you, but I think it's a weird place because
Like licensing and everything.
well, I mean, yeah, it's probably not super profitable, but at the same time, like there's such a huge community that just makes their own beat maps and downloads the songs, Mike included. So it's like you're going to be going against that. Maybe the amount of people who have Beat Saber and don't do that isn't a big enough population. I don't know if they way to track that, or maybe they're tracking it just based on.
Right now are trash too, because like I bought one song from Fall Out Boy that I knew, and when I did it in Beat Saber, I'm like, this song just does not fit in this game at all. I'm like, this is bad. It doesn't work.
As far as the downloadable packs in Beat Saber, I would probably rank them at, I think the Timbaland pack might be my favorite, followed by a tie between the Rocket League pack and the BTS pack.
Yeah, see, the Rocket League pack sounded good. I'm like, I'm not going to buy this.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this sounds better.
The other stuff I don't like. The Linkin Park thing I didn't buy, and the Fall Out Boy one I did buy. Or is it Fall Out Boy or Panic at the Disco?
Panic at the Disco.
Panic at the Disco one I did buy, but it's okay. I don't care too much about it. But
What songs is it?
High Hopes.
High Hopes, Emperor's New Clothes, the song Greatest Show from
Yes.
the Hugh Jackman movie.
Yep.
And a fourth song, Victorious.
Yes. Which I think for me, I think the best song that I enjoy playing out of those is probably Emperor, which I don't even think is a song that I knew prior to Beat Saber.
I don't know any of those songs. I only knew High Hopes. And it was a terrible song to play on Beat Saber.
I don't know. I love Beat Saber. Don't fucking talk about Beat Saber like that. But I agree.
I've been playing it a lot recently.
If they put more music that I liked on there, I would gladly spend money.
Yeah, absolutely.
As opposed to going through the hassles to gather shit. Because I think the Beat Saber, all of the songs that are made by Beat Saber, and not to clown on like the Beat Saber mod community, but like all of the songs that are in the game and like they add to the game, I think the beat maps, which are like the game, like I think they're all good. Like I don't think any of them are bad. So like I'd gladly spend money if they did more stuff. I mean, regardless of what anyone feels about Kanye West, like I would love a fucking Kanye West pack. Like I would fucking eat that shit up.
I meant to look to see if there was any Kanye West songs.
Like I would fucking eat that shit up if there was a good Kanye West pack on there. Like I feel like there was a bunch of his songs that would translate very well to Beat Saber. But yeah, fuck it. We're gonna drop that other topic altogether at this point.
Just say it real quick. We don't have to go in deep.
We'll talk about it next week.
Wait, just tell me. We won't remember next week. There'll be something else.
I will remember. Unless some other big shit happens between now to then, I'll remember.
Spaghetti harmonicas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or floppy the cavatappi.
Is Todd just been fucking holding on to that fucking that rigatoni in his pocket this whole time?
Wait, just tell me what it is. We don't have to talk about it. I just want to know.
So in a recent interview, Nintendo president Shintaro Furukawa said that Nintendo's focus going forward, obviously they're not going to forget about Mario, Zelda, stuff like that, but their focus going forward is going to be on new IPs. So I kind of wanted to dive into what we thought that might mean. Arms is a success for them. Splatoon is a success for them.
I get it, but I just don't believe that Arms is a success. I just can't believe that person.
You need to listen. If Arms was projected to sell 1 million copies and it sold 5 million copies, that's a success.
But that should be like a longevity game where like people are playing it continuously and it's like online multiplayer and everything. Like, is there even anyone playing it at this time?
Yes, there is. There's also someone on my friends list that plays Arms constantly. They have like thousands of hours in Arms. I don't know. I mean,
Nintendo doesn't have to make anything. Honestly, 2 years in a row now, they've made 2 of like my favorite games ever, like Animal Crossing and fucking Rise, and they put like Cat Mario on it. I'm like, I don't need anything from them. It's like the greatest console ever for me personally.
I love the Switch. It's probably it's easily in my top 3. It might be my number 1. We'll see, but
yeah, I mean it's my number 1.
If they make a pasta cooking game, it's over.
Cooking Mama.
I'm assuming there's a pasta thing in something. If it's not Cooking Mama, it's something else. I'm sure there is one. But we'll probably talk about that next week. I won't say it now, but we do have a guest for next weekend.
Who is it? Just tell us now. You're gonna forget.
Yeah. Come on.
You're
gonna forget.
I don't know who any of you think I am. I'm not going to forget anything. Sure, I guess we can tease out next week's guest as long as scheduling doesn't fall through. As of right now, it is scheduled, but that could change. But regardless, this guest, if it does change for next week, will come on again soon, anyways. But Morgan Shaver, who is an editor over at Prima Games, so they will be joining us next week to talk about what they got going on over at Prima, and as well as there's a reason why I didn't talk about the Indie World Direct that happened this week, because we'll probably talk about a lot of indie games next week.
Morgan's the one.
I forgot
on
that
her
this
Twitter-
week. This week.
Yeah.
on her Twitter, she's the one who talked about that game when you blink, and I'd never even really knew anything about that game. And every time you blink, you go to a new point in
Yes.
your life.
Yeah.
I need to play this game. I
Yes.
need to play, but it's only on PC right now.
Yeah.
But like at the second I read what she wrote about it, I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck. I searched everywhere. I'm like, can I play this? Where can I play this? You know,
Mhm.
like I was like literally looking because there were a couple places.
Was
you
that
could
in the
play, like-
direct?
I don't know. It was something.
No,
different,
but
something
but
like,
they cover a lot of indie games. Morgan goes by they them pronouns, which I didn't say, and I don't think you may not have known that, but just throw that clarity out there. But yeah, they will be joining us next week, so that will be a good conversation. I might have someone else also joining us. We'll see, but
Who's it?
regardless. Well,
Who's
that
it?
that,
You're gonna
that
forget.
part that
Yeah.
that part I can't
You're
throw out there
definitely
just yet.
gonna forget.
But yeah, so we'll wrap things up here tidy, a nice little hour-ish here, which is new for us, new ground we're breaking here, trying to keep it tighter. What is that filter, Mike?
It's called Face Robot. Wow.
Well,
It's
I
Tony
guess
Stark
they nailed
when
it.
he's talking to Jarvis when he's looking.
It does look like, yeah.
It does look his his UI for his HUD.
So we'll do PTC Movie Club will be in 2 weeks then. It
Yes.
will not be next week.
Been
Yes, yeah,
2 weeks.
we'll do it in 2 weeks. But yeah, that will pretty much wrap this up. I mean, I think from the Resident Evil showcase, the biggest thing for me was, Resident Evil Village stuff. Cool, we've already known a lot about that game, but the Resident Evil 4 VR thing is pretty cool. I think that game will do actually very well. I think that will be a big success if it's a good game, which I'm assuming it will be. Especially if they're gonna like dance with playing around with arguably their most popular, most renowned Resident Evil game. They're clearly cooking on something special there.
Was 7 VR successful?
I think 7 VR, if you got the PlayStation version, was just you could also play it in VR. I don't think it was a separate
okay.
game, right, Todd?
For some reason I thought it was a separate game.
What's VR? What's
Resident Evil 7. If you bought the PlayStation version, you just also get the VR version included. Was there like a VR
I
mode?
don't think so because I bought the VR one for PSVR and I took it off after 20 minutes. Even after
Interesting.
already beating that game, I couldn't put myself through the first 2 hours of it. I literally knew a part was coming. I took the headset off and I was like, I'm not doing this, and I never played it again after that. There was no way I might revisit, if I get another VR game like that, I'll definitely revisit it. But that game,
Resident Evil 4 VR.
Yeah, but that's not going to be the same as what Resident. There's shit in Resident Evil 7 that just there's so much fucked up shit within the first hour of that game.
Yeah,
fuck that
well,
game.
you're watching a horror movie and you're like, yeah, don't go in there. And then you're essentially by playing Resident Evil VR, you're essentially like, all right, I'm going to go in there.
There's a jump scare in the beginning of that game, and I was waiting for it on my VR headset, and I was like, this is going to be so much worse. It's going to be right in my face. I'm like, and you can't do anything. If you're like, I can't look. This, you're like, you can't, it's there, you know? I stopped playing that immediately. And I'm not that guy that says I'm scared playing games ever. It's not my thing, and that, no way.
Yeah, I mean, I will only play Resident Evil 7 if the 4 of you are in a chat with me and I stream it. Otherwise, I will never play that game. Not happening.
Well, it's so funny because the game goes such a different way the second half, which kind of sucks, but it does some stuff like Saw in the second half, where the first half is straight horror, and the second half's hey, you got to solve this. I'm a gory dude who does these things. And you got to solve these things, but no, it's
none of that sounds fun to me. Resident Evil 4 VR though, I don't know. That's something that I'm not initially excited about it or planning on getting it, but I could be maybe tempted to get that game.
It's only going to be a 5-hour game. It's definitely not going to be the long.
I just want to deal with the merchant in VR. I just want to see what he's selling. I want to see what he's selling in VR. What are you selling? Nothing, Mike? You're not going to throw that out there?
What are you buying?
I didn't think it was necessary.
All right, fair enough.
I was thinking it, but I didn't think I needed to verbalize it.
But yeah, I will say, I mean, I don't know, the Resident Evil Netflix show visually actually looked not bad to me. I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. Maybe I'll watch that. So I think it's going to come out next month. They dropped a release date, I'm pretty sure, in the
You know what? I don't
showcase.
care like when they switch like how people look for the most part. But like I don't like when they throw in actors that I don't know and they switch to like how they look. It's like I just assume it's gonna be like a bad acting. Like the guy who's playing Leon is the guy who's in what's it call it? Woody Harrelson zombie movie part 2. And he was
I
just
didn't
like
watch the second one yet.
Double
he's good,
Tap.
actually. Yeah, whatever it's called, yeah, like Zombie.
I think it's called Double Tap.
Zombieland.
Zombieland, Double Tap, yeah. But and I'm just like, oh, I'm like, and so now I already feel like they have a shitty actor playing Leon. Like it's just like who, like I can't even like, it doesn't even look anything like Leon, and like, yeah, it's just weird to me. I feel like Resident Evil has such a bad track record that like it's gonna take a lot. I need to know like people attached to it are like good writer directors, and none of that
Yeah.
seems to be the case.
It's such a fucking critic, Todd. Such
They
a
should just throw it on HBO. Don't give it to Netflix. Doesn't. I don't think Netflix does a good job at shit like that.
it's stuff like what?
Like horror-y kind of stuff. Like I don't think Stranger Things is that good after first season. I think after first season.
Yeah, but I don't think Stranger Things is horror, like, at all.
I mean, no, but it's like it goes down the path of like trying to be like sci-fi kind of horror. I don't think it's good sci-fi. Like
I mean, I don't know. I don't to me, Stranger Things is just like, it's telling its story, obviously, and it's building its own world. But like, to me, Stranger Things is like so focused on references and homages. Like that's what Stranger Things is to me most of the time. It's just like playing around with references.
And I think they did a good part with that in the first season, but I think everything after the first season kind of just fell flat for me personally.
Isn't Cobra Kai on Netflix?
Yes.
So they're doing a good job with that, aren't they?
Oh yeah, but I feel like it's that's something I went in with like the lowest expectations ever, and it like went high and above. Like it shouldn't even be that. It's like I will openly say like there's some like corny ass shit in that show, and that show should have no reason for being that good, and it still is.
All right. Okay.
But I expect that show to be corny, you know.
Cobra Kai.
I want Resident Evil to be handled the way that like Last of Us is being handled at HBO. You know, you got good showrunner. You got you got HBO. They don't really put shit on their channel that's fucking terrible.
Game of Thrones.
Right. I was waiting for it. Like, as I'm saying that, I'm like every time I'm like, no, but.
I'm actually really excited about the Last of Us show, only because I hope it I don't know, do we know the storyline of that show? Not really, right?
Yeah.
I hope it follows the first game closely, only because I think Last of Us 1 is a good story. Like I think it's a good story. I know that's not like everyone agrees with that, but I think it is a good story. I don't think it's like a telegraph story. Like I think it has a good twist. I think it has a good plot. There's no way I'm gonna get Jen to watch me play that game for any reason. But I hope it's the same story because I want her to watch that show if it is.
I made Amanda watch most of it, but yeah, no, I agree with you. I actually like the actor they got to play Tommy, but like it's gonna be hard for people to remove.
What's his name? I saw that today.
Gabriel
Luna.
The guy from
Luna?
the guy from Agents of Shield.
Oh, is he from? Is that was? I only know him from Terminator, and he was fucking awesome in Terminator.
Oh yeah, he was
like
also
the
from
best part.
Terminator.
He was
I
the
know
best
him
part of
from
the
Agents
movie.
of Shield.
Yeah. So I'm down with him because I know he's he played like whatever kind of Terminator he played in that movie like really well. And I feel like playing a robot can be kind of like very good.
Random anecdote because it kind of got brought up earlier, and now we're talking about shows again. Did any of you know that WandaVision was filmed in front of a live audience?
No,
I think I might have started the
Assembled
whatever.
thing.
Assembled. And
Okay.
I think I saw it there.
Because they talk about it there, and I was like, that's actually kind of crazy. It's also kind of ballsy that Marvel did that since they're so secretive, that they like allowed an audience of people to be in there.
I think it was only the first couple episodes, and
I think it was when it was a
imagine that
sitcom,
They
yeah.
signed crazy NDAs.
Yeah.
So.
Anyways, I think that pretty much puts us at that time, gentlemen. So thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode 254 of the Pass Control Podcast. If you're a friend of the show, fan of the show, want to help support the show, the easiest way to do that and the freest way to do that is to share us on social media, follow us on social media, and let someone know about the show. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, wherever you can leave a podcast review. And if you do have a few bucks kicking around, want to help support the show, you can do that in a few different ways. You can subscribe to us on Twitch at twitch.tv/passcontroller. You can become a patron at patreon.com/passthecontroller, or you can go to passthecontroller.threadless.com and get yourself some 6/6 swag. If you want to keep up with our community and us, you can join our Discord. If not, you can find me at BGroom. You can find Mike at _MikeOpath. You can find Todd at Toddy_by_nature. You can find Dom at PTC_OneLittleSpark. And thank you again for listening to this week's episode 254 of the Pass Control Podcast.